legal is. Arguably legal is, I had a call from a commandant of the Marine Corps telling me gave me a requirement. He is the requirements officer for clothing. He gave me the requirement to build him a brand new uniform. I have regulations, I have guidance, I have all kinds of stuff over here that says you shall not do those things. You shall be all joint and you shall wear all the same things. In DLA, you will make sure that you keep all the uniforms proper. And is anybody getting where arguably legal is? I'm stuck in two worlds and they're providing me the advice. So that was my first time I met with arguably legal. Now there's many other stories that I have for arguably legal, but that's the one that got me to understand there are multiple ways to do things, not one. And no one individual has a cornerstone on what's right and what's wrong. It takes a partnership. It takes a team of folks to actually do this. So I had to go and argue for a legal opinion that I can do what the Commandant of the Marine Corps has asked me to do. And we did. And of course, it's history. We have the uniform. We did the boots. We've done lots of things. So I'm going to share another story. There was a guy that was up in the Army, and his name was Bruce Jetty. And so he's going to put on his mask, but in reality, Dr. Jetty and I he was in the Army, of course. There was not a PEO soldier at the time, but he was a PM soldier, I think is what it was called, because I had done a lot of work with him. And so I used to watch and Dr. Bruce Jetty, then Colonel Bruce Jetty, would come down to the Marine Corps and he'd tell Marine Corps Systems Command all the things that he was working on. And so I'd go back to my team and say, let's go steal this one, and this one, and field them to the Marine Corps because the Army is slow. And so I think he remembers some of these stories because we did the Alice Pack. We did all of those things, all dreamed up by Colonel Jetty, stolen by Doug Bryce and his bandits down at the Marine Corps, called Acquisition. And there we go. It was a great story. So then I did get to meet, and I did move over. Gabe Patricio became the real PM for all of those things, and I moved on to just focusing on Chem Bio. And I also knew at the same time another colonel in the Army, and his name was Steve Reeves. And Steve Reeves and I think we used to think we were in competition with each other, because I think he thought that the Army should be in charge of things, and I thought that the Marine Corps should be in charge of things. And so we each tried to make sure whatever things we had, we were in total charge, and we'd shake it at the other one. And so we had this fair competition going on, and then when he created the JPEO and actually got the permission to create it, and he stood it up and he became the first PEO. He had a great partner, and his name was Rick Decker, who's also here, the deputy. And by the way, there's been 4 PEOs and there's only been 3 deputies. And so I blame Rick for most of it, because he didn't do his share. I had to do 2. So anyway, I met General Reeves many times and we were doing Chem Bio together. It was a great world that we lived in, that we both were after common things. And when they made it joint and they made the JPEO, he was very kind, and he came down and asked me if I would come up and work with him. And I never would have expected it. And I said, sure, if you can convince my boss. And And lo and behold, he actually went and met with my boss, and he won the day and pulled me up into the JPEO. And so that story has been told. So I was the deputy JPEO for the first PEO, for the second PEO, for the third